my patience. My name is Dr. Sandman. It's been a while since I've made a video. Not that anyone cares. I thought I would share something pretty exciting. Well, it's exciting to me. So I have been, this is not the exciting part, I have been depressed a lot, and something that brings me great joy is nostalgia, or things that take me back to a simpler time when I was alive. I was born in the 90s, so I'm a millennial. I miss the times before the internet, before computers, and when phones didn't have a screen, mostly, and before social media. And so something that's been really fueling my desire to get better, and something actually making me feel better, it's not curing my depression, but it's definitely helping, is going back to the past. It was suggested to me by Cooper, hi Cooper if you're watching, that Banks takes over my channel. He suggested that. I think you all would like it very much. He suggested that I make a video about this, or several videos depending on how it goes and what I plan on doing with it. So yeah, if this is a video that you want updates on, or a video that you want like a series out of, I don't know how I would do it, but if that is something that interests you, feel free to comment down below, let me know that you're interested. How am I going back to the past? Specifically, how am I going back to the 90s? How am I going back to the 90s? I keep telling people that I'm living in the 90s now, that I'm living in 1994 specifically. I don't know why that year specifically, but that's the one that's like stuck in my head. I need to clarify, I'm not doing what those people do, because some people do take this to the, not to the extreme, but to like a more intense extent, where I know there are people who like live in the 50s, in the sense that they have like all like their oven is something that would have been available in the 50s. They wear all 50s clothes, everything in their house except for like things that they would need to like exist in today's society. Everything, but aside from those things, everything in their house is something that would have been available or popular in the 50s. And I've seen people do that with several different decades, not just the 50s. I'm not going to that extent. So what I'm doing is I am partaking in 90s media and culture, in the sense that I watch a lot of 90s films, I listen to a lot of 90s music, and I'm also getting a lot of 90s technology, if you will. I like that he's just in the corner. A lot of 90s technology, a lot of 90s paraphernalia. And that's not going to be my whole house, it's not going to be my whole wardrobe and aesthetic or anything like that, but I am slowly weaving it into my life, so I could feel like I'm in the 90s, so I could feel like I'm in a world that isn't ravaged by social media madness and the easy but stressful access of the internet and things like that. So I thought I'd start with showing you some of the things I've gotten, or some of the things I've been using a lot lately to make me feel like I'm in the 90s a little bit more. This first thing I've actually wanted for a long time. I've wanted this since like probably before high school, because it's I don't know. When I was a kid, I had an obsession with the 80s. I still have an obsession with the 80s, but I don't want to go, oh, I'm back to the 80s, because there's some things that, like, there's some candies specifically, and some music and some films from the 90s that I can't really part with yet. So I'm not going to the 80s. Maybe that's my next step. Maybe if like the 90s works out and I want to go even further back, I'll go to the 80s, because I love the 80s so dearly. But this is something I've wanted for a long time, and it is a Sony Walkman. It's a cassette player. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So I've always wanted a Walkman specifically. So this model, oh, and the earphones collapse, and wrong way. It's great, and these actually work surprisingly well for canceling out sound, and the sound on them is really good. So this model of the Sony Walkman came out in 1991, so that's a pretty good starting point for 90s paraphernalia, I think, and it works fabulously. It works so good. I've never had a Walkman before, but I've always wanted one, and I'm surprised at how clear the sound is. I had a portable CD player when I was younger, I probably still have it somewhere if I look hard enough. But I've never had a cassette player. And I started off getting 3 cassettes. And I'm going to tell you how everything goes. So if I get things in the mail that, or if I buy things that aren't working anymore, or if they're damaged, or if like it's just a sign of the times, they've just aged poorly, or things like that. So I'm going to update you guys if this is like a series that you want. So the first cassette that I bought was obviously classic, an essential cassette to have, Depeche Mode's Violator album. I love Depeche Mode, they're one of my favorite bands. And this one was released, I think in 1990, so we're doing pretty good. Susie and the Banshees, Superstition. I think that's the cassette I have in there now. Yep, it's the one I have in there now. These both play perfectly. I love Susie and the Banshees, again, another one of my favorite bands. This one, I don't know what year it was released, but it was at least before 1994. I think in 1993 or maybe 1990. Maybe it says on it. Let's find out. 1991. So it was before 1994. Okay, cool. Oh my god, the insides of this. Very nice. Very nice. Oh my god. Oh, there's a picture of the band. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm excited. Anywho. Oh, there she is. Susie. Queen. Oh my god. I love this woman. I love this woman so much. I got a third one. I actually didn't get this one at first. I bought these first 2 together. And then I was talking to Cooper and he said, I told him to guess. And his first guess was the Back to the Future soundtrack. And I said, no, I didn't even think about that. And I immediately went out and bought it. So I have the Back to the Future soundtrack, and this one, disappointment in the north, my friends. So the first 2 songs on this, The Power of Love, and what's the second song? Time Bomb Town, play perfectly, and everything after that slows down, and like every other song is so slow. I think there's only one song on the other side. Yeah, the Back to the Future Overture. That one plays a little fine throughout most of it, but it does slow down, and everything else just doesn't play well. So I'm gonna have to buy another copy of this, unfortunately. But other than that, guys, I can't tell you how close I was to crying actual tears of joy when I got this in the mail and with the cassettes from it. Idiot. It's so exciting to me. it's the coolest thing in the world to me. It's just, and I listen to it when I go on the bus to work, and I listen to it when I go do my laundry, and I do feel like I'm back in the 90s, especially when I go listen to it when I do my laundry, because the laundromat where I live it's from the late 80s, and they have not redecorated since the late 80s, I am confident to say. Another thing that I do to avoid using my laptop and avoid using my phone for music is it's actually there in my shopping cart. It's my pink record player and all of my vinyl records. And I know that's not like that wasn't like invented in the 90s, not that these were invented in the 90s either, but it's, you know, it was more what people were doing before, you know, more digital music became available, and I do that a lot more. If you guys want me to go through my record collection, let me know. I don't have a big record collection, just so you know. I do have a lot of old classics, so I have like Hendrix, I have Led Zeppelin. I don't have a Susie Suit one yet, but I'm working on it. I do have Pink Floyd, and several other classics. And then I do have some newer ones as well. I have two Amanda Palmer ones now, a couple My Chemical Romance ones, and I do have Green Day. That's very 90s. But it's the God's Favorite Band album, which is like their hits. So it's not like a 90s album because it wasn't available in the 90s, but it doesn't matter. It's got 90s music on it. And the last thing I want to show you is this. Do you see this? Are you losing your mind right now? Because I was. So A YouTuber that I watch a lot that I really love is Garrett Watts, and he was making a 90s room, and he's doing what I'm doing in the sense that he's like, I don't want things that are just 90s vibe. I want all the things for this room to not to be things that would have been accessible and available in the 90s, and that's what I'm trying to do. Again, I don't think I can entirely divorce myself from my phone and my laptop because I'm too addicted, and also I just kind of need them to exist in today's society, unfortunately. But I am working on not using them at all, like putting them away for at least one day a week. I want to get to that at some point, and I just keep noticing him. He's great. But in that video where he was showing you everything, he's like, I got these, and then he shows the sheets, and my mind went reeling like back 20 years, and I was just like, oh my god, those left my memory, because not only did I have these, everyone in my family did, everyone in my extended family did, all of my friends did, everybody had these sheets or something adjacent to these, and after a certain point in time, they just disappeared. Like no one had them anymore. And I didn't think of anything about it. I didn't pay attention to it. I was like, oh, everybody's got new sheets. I didn't even make a note of it. And I hadn't seen them since. They just stopped existing to me. And I saw the sheets in the video, and I was like, that's what I need. I need those to be back in the 90s. And when I say it took me 3 hours to find them, it took me 3 hours to find them on the internet. I searched so many different keywords and stuff, and I had to eventually I narrowed it down to one eBay seller who sold a bunch of sheets from the same brand that this one came from. And eventually I was able to find these, and these were the only ones that they had. And I got them in the mail, and the day I opened up, again, similar to my cassette tape, this might sound pathetic because it's sheets, but I opened it up and this close to tears of joy, because I was transported back in time, because again, I hadn't seen these since I was an actual child, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy with my 30-year-old sheets. It's great. I really do love them. I'm not joking at all. These are actually pretty steezy. Oh my god, obsessed. So yeah, that's what I have so far. I also have I got 90s clothes, but that was before deciding to make this decision to live in 1994. I would like to get really far with it. I would like to get most of the things in my apartment to be 90s-esque, or something appropriate to have existed in the 90s. I'm not gonna go balls to the wall with it. I'm not gonna actually make myself live in the 90s like some people do with decades. Kudos to them, by the way. I envy their discipline. That's really cool and awesome for them, and I love that for them, but I don't think I could do it. But I would like to get close. And yeah, it's working wonders. I'm not kidding. Every time I see these sheets, I freak out, in a good way. I get so giddy looking at these sheets, and maybe that's sad. Maybe that's illustrative of how bad my depression's gotten, but who cares? If you have any suggestions for things or if you have, what's your favorite memory from the 90s, or favorite thing from the 90s? Comment down below and tell me. Or if you have any suggestions hey, you should do this thing, or you should get this thing, let me know. Tell me your suggestions and things like that. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also in the comments, tell me if you would be interested in seeing a follow-up on this to see the other things I got, or if you want to see my cassettes as I get more of them, because I do plan on getting many more. I want to actually have a cassette collection. I do plan on using this for a long time until it breaks, which hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, and yeah, that's it. So I will see you in my next video. I'll leave all my social media and links in the description below, and subscribe for more videos, and see you in my next one. Bye.